Okay guys, how are you? I wanted to do the conclusion of my story. I was telling you my story, so I just really want to sum it all up and tell you where I'm at today. And where I'm at today is that I really like me, I love me. I used to didn't like myself. Yeah, I wouldn't say not really like myself, but I wasn't very sure of myself. And I finally came to the conclusion that I can't make other people happy. People are going to always find something to not like about you. You can try your best to try to please people if you want, but it's just impossible. I know what I want, and I know how I want it. And I know who I want to deal with, and I know who I don't want to deal with. And I'm learning to stop making apologies for decisions that I made, especially if it's the opposite of what someone else thinks it should be. And everybody has the right to make the decisions that they want for their life and how they want to for their life. So, and that's what I do. I've started saying no, I don't want to. I stopped doing things I don't want to do. I've stopped putting a lot of pressure on myself to meet impossible deadlines. I used to feel very guilty about, having to back away from my family because it was my family. But you know what? I don't. You know what? They make decisions for themselves on how they want to do it, and I make decisions for myself. If you don't like how I'm doing it, then you stay in your space. And if you're not adding something to my life, you're taking out of my life. So before I allow that anymore, I'm going to need you to get behind me because I'm going forward. And I don't care who it is. I like the person that I am. I hate that it took so long to get here. But I had to go through a lot of hurt and pain to get here. I used to think that, if you were a godly person, you're supposed to put up with a bunch of crap. It's not true. It's not true. God does not want us being a fool. He doesn't. And God didn't put up with a bunch of crap, and I'm not going to put up with a bunch of crap either. So, what I want to say to you ladies out there, first of all, I want to say to Kay Cosettes and Sabrizas, I read you guys' story, and I am happy that you chose to share it with me, and I'm just so glad that we figured it out and we're moving forward. Another thing that I started doing, I was watching Evangeline Van Zant on Oprah on the OWN station, and she had this one couple on there, this couple, and this lady was telling her story about what happened to her, and she said something to this woman, and she started being very emotional. She started crying about it, and Evangeline said, "Why are you taking yourself through that every time you tell that story? Why are you still a victim of that story?" And I just thought about it because I used to do that. Not really trying to be a victim, but I was just telling my story and what happened to me. And guys, I'm going to tell you, I did not tell you. What I told you, but if you did listen to the older videos, the ones that I deleted, I didn't even tell you what happened to me. And the things that were done to me that was just so ugly that you would even do that to your enemy, as a child. It was so bad, I didn't even want to say it out my mouth. I didn't want to feel the emotions because I'm past that. Yes, I believe that one day I'll tell that story, and I have, but I just chose to, in that video, not to do that. But I am not a victim of my circumstances. I'm choosing my own path, and I do create my own opportunities. Anybody that knows me here in Columbus, if you happen to ask somebody about me, they'll tell you, Xantha, I know what I want to do and how I want to do it. It doesn't mean that I never have moments of doubts and I always know what direction I'm going in. It doesn't mean that. But what it does mean, that foolishness, that craziness, I'm done with it. Yes, you will respect me or you will be deleted out of my life. And I will respect you, and I'm not going to do anything to disrespect you, and you're not going to do anything to disrespect me. And sometimes people will do things to hurt you and they don't realize that they are. Sometimes people don't know how to love you because they haven't been taught how to love. And so that's when you look at that person and you need to draw some conclusions. That this person is just a nasty person, or they're just being mean to you because they want to be, or maybe they just don't know how to love. Some people don't know how because they never received it, they was never taught it, and sometimes they can be around you or somebody else that does, and they'll learn. But if it's at the expense of you getting hurt and your feelings getting hurt and all that stuff, life is too short. Life is just too short for that foolishness. I've had enough pain in my life, but I know, who am I to say that? And God's like, you ain't been through nothing, girl. You better sit down somewhere. I keep hearing this weird sound. So, somebody put something on Facebook about something I put up. But anyway, guys, I would just say to you, it ain't too late. It's never too late. If you're 70 years old and you get 1 year out of doing your vision, you can say that you did it. If you're 50, if you're 40, or whatever, do it. And, don't believe it's too late. It's never too late. If you need to learn how to do something, man, we have the internet, Google. You can almost learn anything you want to on Google or the internet. All you have to do is make up your mind, write it down on paper, make it tangible, say this is what I want, this is the direction I'm going to, and go for it. I would say to you, go for it. I don't care what it looked like, what it feel like. I don't care who said you couldn't do it. I would say to you, do it, because you can. You can. You can. The only person that's stopping you is you. Don't let nobody's minimum be your maximum. Don't. And sometimes people say, oh girl, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Of course you wouldn't, because you're not me. And sometimes people aren't trying to hold you back. They really wouldn't do it because of their own fear. And sometimes people talk to you out of their own fears. And they'll say, oh girl, I wouldn't do that, or oh girl, this could happen, or whatever. Because that's their own fear talking. No, they wouldn't do it. It doesn't mean that they are trying to sabotage you. They really wouldn't do it. But you are your own person, and you are your own individual, and you're different. And what God has called you to do, He called you to do. The talents that He gave you, He didn't give anybody else. He gave it to you. And nobody can do it like you. There's only one of you. Learn to love yourself where you at. Another thing that I find in my life now, that my health is important. I used to didn't think about that. We didn't learn that as kids, but now that I'm older, I'm learning that I want to eat better. I want to do better because I want to feel better. The older I get, I can't do what I used to do. I'm tired. I am going through menopause. My metabolism is like this. I have to work at it. A lot of women say, oh, Xantha, you're this and you're that, and I work at it. Believe me, when I was younger, I didn't have to work at it, but now I do. I want to age gracefully. I'm so excited to see my daughter heading in the footsteps. She wanted to go in. I did want her to be a fashion designer like me, but that's not something she wanted to do. And she's found out what she wanted to do, and I pushed her in that direction. Oh, and another thing I wanted to share too. Sometimes when our parents are a certain kind of way, we have to be very watchful, because unconsciously we'll act just like that parent we can't get along with at that time. And there's been times in my life you either going to go the opposite direction or you're going to go in the same direction. So you got to find that balance somewhere. With my daughter early on, I tried the extreme opposite, and then I was overprotective. So I had to pray. And one thing that I'm learning to do, me and my daughter has a decent relationship. We have a good relationship. You know, we fuss a lot, and she thinks I try to tell her what to do, but I just think I know some things that she already know, and I'm trying to teach her not to go down that road right now. But anyway, you know how teenagers are. She's not a teenager, but she's 26, but I just don't want her to have to go through the heartaches that I went through. I know they have to go through some things. I really protected her from so much, and then when she started to go through things, she didn't even know how to react to them, because I was always there to pick her up and bail her out. And one day I said, I'm going to have to let you go and let you hit your head. And it was hard to do that, but that was the best thing I could have ever done for her, because she has turned out to be great. She has her own boutique. She's 26 years old. I'm so excited about that. She has her own makeup line, and she has her own eyelash line, and she does skincare, and she just jumped out there in the boat, and she just went for it. Can you imagine how amazing she's going to be when she's my age? She's amazing now, but wow. Wow. She's already trying to find a house, and I am just so excited. I'm so happy for her. I just couldn't be more happier for her. Believe me, she gave me some headaches, but she did the things. She was totally opposite from me growing up. She definitely did what the hell she wanted to do. It didn't matter who liked it. She did what she wanted to do. But at the end of the day, I am glad with the outcome of it. And she has a daughter of her own. I think she's a good mother. You know, but anyway, we talk a lot about business and what her next move is in her business, and I'll tell her what the next move is in my business, and we have good conversation. When she thinks I'm not listening to her, she'll say it, Mom, you're not listening to me. Whereas I couldn't say that to my mother. But it's good that your children should be able to communicate with you, but respect you, and be able to say, hey, I didn't like what you said, that hurt me. What did you mean by that? You know, I didn't have that to do. So, I'm just saying, ladies, I don't care. Go for it. If you're designing something, there's somebody out there that wants to buy what you have. God will bless the works of your hands. If He gave you the talent, He's going to make the means for you to make the money. It's not easy. No, it's not easy at all. But you can do it. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. If you put Him first, and that's another thing I had to learn, honey. I used to just do things out. I've learned how to talk to God, to ask Him to direct my path. What direction does He want me to go in? I've learned how to tone down. I learned how to be a wife and a better mother. Because I'm just like, I'm going to do what I want to do. And God had to learn how to, Xantha, you need to tone it down. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to say all that stuff to get your point across. And I have a husband that really supports me. Now, he started his business, and we both have our own businesses. He's very busy. I'm very busy. December is when I retire. January, February, March. I really kind of retired for 3 months, but I am still working because I like to close the shop down for 3 months. I just do. But I don't know if that's such a great idea, because now my husband has his own business, and maybe I'll work more online. Oh, yeah. So I've been doing a lot of deliveries lately. It's new business for me. I'm living in a post office, so now I'm learning how to just, I've been shipping things, and I haven't been charging enough for shipping and handling, and I'm kind of losing money, but I'm filling it out. And I do want to do a lot more business online because I want to widen my customer base. So I'm about to run out of time, and I hope that I was able to encourage someone.